ladies and gentlemen, Festive Neighborhood Commentator Speeds here, and I'm back once again for another upload. Before I start this video, I want to give a huge shout out to these fellow gentlemen for joining me on the Discord watch party the other day. You guys sincerely rock, and I look forward to potentially doing it again next year. Y'all are the true ones. A link to their channels will be listed down in the description below, so be sure to go subscribe to them and follow them on their other social medias. With that said, let's jump into the video. Now, let's take a moment and appreciate the one and only best time of the year, Christmas. Indeed, it is that time of year again, folks, and so with that, I've rebranded the channel's look for this month. It's finally that time of year where you get everyone together and, well, spend time, I suppose. A time where you see the wonderful decorations in a city as well as your own home. A time where you get to chill out and listen to some festive tunes or watch the holiday movies. A time to get around and gift give to one another. And time to finally eat and drink those special delightful things as you please that only come around this time of year. And just in general, a time to be festive. A time like Christmas is a time like no other, so I'm always thrilled when this time of year comes around. So with that said, now let's really dive into the topic. So I'm not going to talk about every itty-bitty detail as to what happened at the Game Awards this year, but I will be going over some of the major things that were announced at this year's event. Basically like what I did in my video last year reflecting on the 2020 Game Awards, which I think we all know how that one went. It was a disappointment. So to get started, I want to talk about the ultimate carrier of this year's Game Awards by far, Sega. Starting off, the Sonic Movie 2 trailer, and oh man was this hype. The Game Awards was surely a perfect opportunity for them to showcase the trailer, and they took that opportunity. And I loved the way this trailer went. Tails got a complete makeover ever since the teaser and the end credits of the original movie. So they did my mans well. We got to see the return of Robotnik, or in other words, the legendary Jim Carrey, of course. And then, there it was.
Face it, you're never going to get my power.
Do I look like I need your power?
Oh my god. This was a moment of codename freakout, and they made Knuckles look so good. And for once they actually didn't treat him like a joke. See the modern games for example if you want to know what I mean, although I'm sure you all already knew that. One thing I noticed with this trailer is that the introduction of these characters in the movie reflect in a very similar way that the original games did. So I feel like Sega and Paramount really intended to give some fan service to their community. So bravo to you both. This movie trailer was an automatic 11 out of 10 for me. It was just that good. Next up, the announcement of Sonic Frontiers. This was the open world Sonic game set for 2022, which was teased a few months back, which was supposedly codenamed Sonic Rangers, but now we have an official name, with the release date still unknown of course. I have to say, although there isn't a huge amount of gameplay shown, it definitely looks interesting and I do plan to get it when it comes out for sure, but I can understand why people may not want to get their hopes too high. I mean, take a good look at Forces. Praised to only become a huge disappointment to the Sonic and gaming community. But that aside, I definitely think Sega did an incredible job with what they did this year at the Game Awards, and in my opinion, they really carried this one. Next up, some game announcements from the Game Awards. I don't know if I have much to say here, but some game announcements were interesting. For example, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. That got announced, and me being a horror fan, I was really excited for this announcement. Plus the game also seems to be co-op as well, so you could play with friends, at least from what I remember. The Star Wars Eclipse game also looked interesting too. Although I wasn't to the biggest limit of excitement for it, not that I found it bad or anything, I just don't know if it sparked the hugest bit of excitement to me compared to other games and announcements. But I do like Star Wars, so that's why it did have my interest still. An Among Us VR game. Yeah, we're really getting that. Hellblade 2, and finally an expansion to the delicious last course of Cuphead was announced. So I was happy to hear about that, especially since it's been a while with Studio MDHR. Telltale also announced a game as well, almost like these companies are zombies being reanimated. And if it wasn't obvious, Telltale was one of the companies behind Minecraft Story Mode. Now looking into Nintendo's side, Nintendo didn't really have much at the Game Awards this year. All they really announced was some indie games coming to the Nintendo Switch, but as far as for games of their own, not really. I guess they're keeping a little quiet until 2022. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this section of the video. And now, the last segment of this video, the winners of this year's event. Starting off with the ultimate winner of all this year, the game It Takes Two. I didn't get really involved with this game to be honest with you all, but it seems interesting to me. This game was nominated in 5 separate categories, and it won 3, including Best Family Game, Best Multiplayer, and of course, Game of the Year. I find it funny how It Takes Two was put into a category filled with Nintendo games, and Nintendo didn't even win in that category, despite the rest of the category being nothing but Nintendo games. Last year's Game of the Year winner was The Last of Us Part 2, and that was an ultimate disappointment for many, especially since the game won like 8/10 of the awards last year. And the reason it was so disappointing is because not many people were thrilled with The Last of Us Part 2 as a game, so last year's event was rigged in short. Other games such as Life is Strange True Colors, Resident Evil Village, which I was glad to see get an award, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Halo Infinite, which me being a fan of Halo was happy about, although I'm not surprised that it did get one, and Metroid Dread also got awards. And then, if it's not too shocking, Dream got Content Creator of the Year with his hellish nightmare of a fanbase congratulating and praising him on Twitter, and Genshin Impact won Mobile Game of the Year. Nothing too shocking about that either, but meh. I don't really have big interest in Genshin, and I don't really care for Dream, and I don't have a full-fledged problem if someone just watches Dream to watch him, because you're entitled to like what you like, and it's not a bad thing to idolize someone. It's just that I can't stand both of those communities, and I'm sure that potentially a good portion of you viewers could say the same thing. But lately, Dream has said some stuff on Twitter, which if you follow me on there, you really should by the way, I really don't agree with, and the recent tweets of his just sound genuinely dumb. But I'm not here to gripe so much about him and Genshin because that's not the purpose of this video or why I'm here, although it is a formal opinion of mine to express, I suppose. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up this year's event. I think the one thing that definitely was different about this year's Game Awards is that there won't be Smash Bros announcements anymore, as Ultimate ended on its best and final fighter, Sora. So with that, that pretty much wraps up this year's Game Awards. So, what are my thoughts on it? I thought it was okay. I can definitely say that compared to last year, this one was definitely better, because so far, I don't think anything compares to the disappointment that was last year. I could definitely say that some parts of this event did bore me, or I didn't really spark interest in, but it wasn't that bad for sure. All I can say now is, until 2022. So with that, that's going to wrap up this video, and that'll conclude my thoughts on this event, as I have nothing more to really say. If you saw my community post, I am doing once a week uploads this month for the special holiday occasion as a gift to you all. So with that said, this is Speed signing off, and I'll catch you all later in next week's upload. Take care, everyone.